Jesse, you wanna go into what you got? You think you saw
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah, so the game I brought is Shinobi from PlayStation 2 because that was the game that kind of set the tone for like Devil May Cry, God of War, those like hack and slash action games. That was like the first one, and I mean, when you go back to cartridges, Shinobi was that first ninja that we really got down with. I mean,
Yep.
you have Ninja Gaiden, it did come out, but that game was so hard, the graphics were really tight. But like Shinobi, when you could get the different elements, like in the different ninjutsu, like man. So Shinobi on PS2, that was the first time they did like the full 3D hack and slash. They had like full on cinematic cutscenes. Man, it was he had the shadow clone when he would dash, and like you had like I want to say 20 chapters. And the dopest part about it was it starts with Japan has been taken over by this like evil. I want to say he's like this evil wizard type dude, and he puts all these talisman on only the Oboro clan. So the main character is the leader of the Oboro clan. So like all the ninjas that train with you now have these talismans and like all these demons, and they're just cutting through and taking out Japan. So like you take it upon yourself to take out your own men because you're like, I don't want anybody to kill them. They don't deserve to die that way. They'll die with my blade. So I already thought that was a very like real dope story because he's like, I'm gonna be the one that takes my own team out. But the cool part about this game was your sword actually ate at you. So if you don't kill, it kills you.
Yep.
And it's because the sword, you're bound to it. It's called the Akujiki, I want to say was the name of his blade. But it's like once you're bound to it, you have to kill. And like, yeah, if he doesn't kill, it's going to eat him. So
Damn.
it was just a real dope game because you had to keep like, it's a lot of platforming stuff, a lot of wall running. There's some levels that don't even have a ground. And there's platforming, and you still have to fight enemies and make sure that your sword is fed. Yeah. So it's like it was crazy. Like that game was fire.
That was always my favorite part of this game. I was hyped for it to come out because I was a big fan of the Sega Shinobi. So boom, comes to the PS2. I remember going to get it the very first day, and that moment when I first saw him, chop through I think 4 or 5 people because it doesn't do it against the 2 or 3. You have to have at least 4 or 5 people get killed, and it has that little moment. With the boom, I was like, yo, they put a little itty bitty cutscene like that. It's just to make it more dramatic. I love that part of Shinobi. There was some levels like I lost that though. There were some levels that I didn't know how to get to the next checkpoint. So I'm just running around doing the damn dash on walls and I can't get to it. That was the only thing that issue with me. You fight a tank and then when you have to fight the helicopter, that was the other one for me. I was like, yo, I gotta fight a whole helicopter, a demon helicopter.
Yeah, that was early too. That was early. And it's like, so that point you were talking about where when you would cut through, like that was a big feature to, I want to say even 3D games at that time, because you would cut 4 characters or more. And so you would be trying to like chain up as many as you could. Like if there was 20 enemies in the area, you were trying to take them all out. Because if you kill them all, then he does like a cool cutscene, says something dope like, this is our destiny. And then as he puts the sword away, they all just slide in half. Yep. Like, I'm saying this is one of those games that I've been wishing they do a remake of and really like take that cutting feature to the next level. Because since this game, Ninja games have all bit this. Ninja Gaiden, when they went 3D, they even said that's why Ryu Hayabusa had the metal plate on his head. They wanted to make it look just like, Shinobi. Reminiscent of Shinobi. I mean, it set the tone. His scarf following him, that thing was crazy. Like,
love that.
It was like art.
Yeah. This is beautiful for me because I'll be honest, like I played Shinobi when it first came out, and so like you said, Jesse, with it getting a remake, it could quite possibly because this is technically a remake. Like this was one of the only games that I really knew like they remade each one. Like I remember when Shinobi came out, I think in like in 87 or like 88 or something around that time on Sega. Then the Revenge of Shinobi dropped. And then Shinobi 3, the Ninja Master came. But then like in around like 2000, they started remaking them. And then so like Shinobi dropped, then like the Revenge of Shinobi. I don't think they did Shinobi 3, but to see how they took such a classic thing from the 80s, made it look like this, like there is no reason why this can't now uphold onto like a PS5 or Xbox Series X console.
So this is a remake.
Yeah,
Well,
this is a remake.
It actually was. So it was a progression of the series. So
Yeah.
You can unlock the original ninja if you do like if you collect a certain amount of things, you can unlock the original ninja, and you can unlock your brother, who's one of the like most difficult bosses in the game. But that was another thing. The story to this one, it was the first story that I think taught me like, whoa, video games are crazy. Because like the intro of it, he has to fight his brother, and it's like a dope little CG cutscene of him and his brother getting down. And you're like, okay, if you like martial arts films, you're like, oh, this is what's up. And then the winner has to cut the other one's head off, and that's his blood brother. So to be the leader of the Oboro, the two best have to fight, and then his brother gets on his knees and he's like, take the sword, and he's now the leader. And then he literally is like, all right, and he just has to go, cuts his head off, and then that's how the game starts. But I was just like, yo.
He beat his brother first, or his brother gave it to him?
He beat his brother, and so then whoever wins that fight gets entrusted the sword, and then with that sword you have to cut off the other one's head.
So these are what the old ones looked like before they were remade?
Yeah. That was
those were dope. Those were dope.
The throwing stars and then the hitting with the swords and stuff like that, man. I love that. So just to see like them take that original game and for them to turn it into this with a storyline, it was just like, yo, this lets me know like the possibility for video games are endless. And just like how they do movies, like we see like what remakes can be done. Because just the fact that you mentioned this one and not even the OG one, it's just like, yo, this is what happens when you remake it and you remake it right.
When it's like that character too, he set the tone for even like cool factor. Like if you let him stand still, he's got his arms crossed the whole time. Even if you walk, he's still got his arms crossed until he grabs his sword and is cutting you in half. He's chill. And that was the craziest thing to me. Like this character was the dopest. Every line he said was like,
it was fire, bro.
Like, yo, I'm about this mission. What's up? Like,
oh yeah. I can atone to all that, man. I can atone to all of it because, like I said, I wish the dude can get like a good eight kill combo or like 9 when you get like a whole bunch of kills at one time. Man, it feels great because it's hard to do. It's hard. Like you got to get across the whole map. You got to be flying all over the place to get that many kills.
It's literally like Ninja. It's literally like you have to set up, like look at the stage and go, okay, I need to make them move here, have him dash here, run up the wall, jump, bounce here, and then cut this last guy. Like you literally had to make him outsee his combo for you to do it right.
Oh yeah.
Well, in to Khlio's point though, level design was the only downfall to that game.
Absolutely.
Because there'd be times where there's like talismans and one is hitting so stupid, but you had a whole fight over here. You had to do all this crazy platforming. There's no ground. It's like there were times where you would be like, man, I don't know what's going on.
Where the hell am I supposed to go?
I'm like, I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
So like the level design was trash.
Of course, I mean Shinobis they're known to be hard games regardless. So I guess they try to keep that whole mind state. You know, it's supposed to be a hard game. So I feel like that's
are too cool for that, man. Why does every ninja game have to be a test of the hardest gamers? Like
hero.
We like ninjas.
Yeah, that's my game.
Like ninjas.
I want to real quick thing to talk about the slashing mechanic of this game. Like how we talked about, it was great to see the cutscene at the very end. There was only one other game that I saw that tried to revolutionize the whole, having a sword and having a moment happen while attacking. It was the Afro Samurai game. Did any of you guys play it?
Oh yeah.
Afro Samurai had a pretty cool slashing mechanic.
It was
pretty cool. I would like to see that come added to the next one.
Yes. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
but you know who did it better? Metal Gear Rising. That was
yes.
Okay. You remember they would do that?
Yes.
He would rip the spine out and charge
up.
That
was hard, bro. That was a slept on game.
They said they played a lot of the Shinobi on PS2 when they were making that game, the Platinum. They might have been some of them that developed this game. Some of those developers like working on a different team though.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it.
Because that game was so dope. They made a sequel called Nightshade, and it's based off the female character that they loosely introduce her in this one.
Yeah.
But it was so whack because they left this one with a cliffhanger, and then they just completely acted like that didn't happen until the very last scene. They showed that she had his sword, so it would show that he's still alive because it started glowing. So that would mean that he's alive and it's still eating at him. But it was like, like you guys already.
That was it. That was it for Shinobi.
Yeah, Jess, thank you for bringing that up because I couldn't remember that. I literally could not remember that I know there was a female version that happened. I just didn't know the name of it. It was Nightshade.
Yep.
So
Nightshade.
that's what it was.
I think it came out like what 02, like 03 or something.
Yeah. And then those characters haven't came back since it was Project Cross Zone on Nintendo 3DS, which is like one of the dopest little crossover RPG games. But they brought that main character and the girl from Nightshade. They're actually one of the dopest characters in that game. Yeah. It's like, man, I want them back. I think you could do a PS5 game or something new with this character. Yep. His name.
I mean, they did that already, and this is your fault. They turned this and made it into Sekiro. We're never gonna get a Shinobi now.
Hey,
Sekiro.
That's a whole different beast.
Jesse be easily walking through Sekiro, low key.
Is this his brother right here?
Shinobi?
Yeah, that's his brother.
He was fighting right now. Yeah, that's his brother.
I remember this fight. Oh,
I thought you said that's how the game started.
Well, and that's what kind of brings him in is your brother he also gets taken over.
Oh, his dead body.
Yeah, you have to fight him again.
Fire.
Yeah. All right, well, that has been Shinobi on the PlayStation 2. If you guys remember that, definitely jump in the comments. All right, real quick, I'm gonna do mine a little bit faster, just because we gotta shoot pretty soon. Gotcha.